Alright, so I recently got a question, in fact, from a couple of you guys on how to scale campaigns on Facebook to 6-7 figures. And today in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to make that happen. I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes to some of my campaigns, actual numbers, and the thought process and the strategy to how myself and my team are conditioned to think about scaling. And if you are somebody that has got some sort of campaign that has taken traction, then this video here would be literally one of the most profitable videos that you will watch this year. Let's talk about our main focus today. Okay, we're going to be talking about different types of scaling. I'm going to be talking about the requirements for scaling. First of all, we're going to talk about, like, are you ready to scale? And then I'm going to talk about creative scaling. I'm going to be talking about how do you scale horizontally, how do you scale vertically, and how often do you actually scale? Should it be something you look at every day, every 2 days, every 7 days, every month? How do you actually make it happen? Okay, so the first thing that we are going to talk about is the requirements for scaling. So if you have a campaign right now that is small but profitable, if you have something that you are putting in right now for $1 and you're getting back out $2 in return, here's typically what happens, right? You'll realize that in this journey, after you start spending $100, $1,000 a day, things tend to go like haywire. Why is it that sometimes when you're spending $100 a day, all is well, but when you double that amount, triple that amount, 10x that amount, things just don't go according to plan, right? Why is there this weird algorithm shift from a small profitable campaign to an unprofitable one the moment you scale? So we're going to be talking about all these different things. After spending millions of dollars on Facebook ads, I'm going to be sharing with you, first of all, what is the requirement for scaling? Okay, so before you even think about scaling, the way I want you to think about it is, number one, it has got to be extremely profitable right now, the campaigns that you're currently running. Because right now, if you are barely breaking even, if you do not have much margins right now, if you're not at least making 2x returns, then you should not be even, thinking about scaling. Okay, so that's number one. The second requirement for scaling is that it doesn't break your operations. So if you're selling a certain service, if you are selling e-com, and if you don't have, or physical products, if you don't have the back end, the fulfillment, the shipping, the architecture and the framework and the backbone and the operations being able to sustain and handle the additional sales, then you're not ready to scale. Okay, so the second requirement for scaling is, if you were to have 5x more sales right now, are you able to handle it? So if, let's say, you're selling some sort of service, is it automated in a way that there are other people and processes that will be able to handle the 5x orders for your services? If you are selling e-com, does the shipping, the fulfillment, the manufacturing, can it handle your operations without breaking it? If the answer is yes, then great, you are ready to scale. So those are the requirements for scaling. Let's talk about the first type of scaling, which is really creative scaling. This is one of the most basic, important things that I'm always thinking about, that my marketing Facebook ads team is constantly thinking about, which is basically, how do we decrease ad fatigue by literally having more creatives, more angles, more hooks. Every single time when we're thinking about scaling, we're just thinking about, what's a new angle, what's a new ad, what's a new creative, is there a different hook? So the first thing about scaling is utilizing creatives so that it decreases ad fatigue. Now, one of the reasons why you can only spend that amount of money on a certain campaign, on a certain ad set, is because after a certain point in time, it's the same audiences that is seeing the same ad over and over again. So the product's the product, right? But the truth is, different people, different messages, different hooks resonate with different people. So just because a certain angle didn't resonate with this certain profile, this certain demographic, it doesn't mean that this person isn't interested. Okay, so the first thing we want to do in order to test different creatives is to really come out with different hooks, different messaging, different angles, different thumbnails, different videos. And the way to do that is by duplicating the best ad sets you have, the 10, 20, 30 of them. And I put X dollars a day because this could be, it depends on how aggressive you want to be. If you're just starting out to scale, I'll recommend $5 a day. Could be 10, could be 20. And only change one thing about the ad. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go to an actual account, and we're going to take a look at how we actually scale. So just want to make sure that we are recording. Okay, great. So let me just kind of share with you a few different, let me go to an account where we have some active ads. Okay, so this account over here, you will see that we have spent like a lot of money on this account, right? And in this account over here, so we talked about the first method to scale is literally to test different creatives. So over here, I wrote duplicate your best 10 ad sets. Okay, so for example, if let's say I wanted to take a look at, let's say, this campaign over here, which has been pretty decent. One of the things that I can do is I can duplicate this ad set, and when it is when I'm duplicating it, one of the things I can do is when I duplicate this, I'm thinking about changing just one thing for my ad. Okay, so I'm thinking, can I change the hook, the messaging, the angle, the thumbnail, okay, in order to avoid ad fatigue? So all I'm gonna do is, everything else remains the same, okay, I'm not changing anything, but the only thing that I am changing is my ad and my creative. So right now I can literally just go and take my current winners, the different ad sets, the one that has got the lowest cost per result, whether it is a cost per sale, cost per registrant, cost per show up, and I'm duplicating it and just changing one thing about the ad. Okay, and these are just some different things that you could be changing, but this is literally why, like, I have a few hundred different ads, and the purpose of that is to have different angles, different hooks in order to avoid ad fatigue. Okay, so this is the first thing that you need to be doing in terms of your creatives if you want to be scaling. Okay, by scaling your ads and your creatives. And that brings us to number 2. So this is like kind of like the first thing to work on, right? Just more ads, more creatives, more angles, more thumbnails, more images, more videos. Now after you do that, because that's going to kind of balance things out to avoid ad fatigue, then the second thing, which is kind of like the biggest method of scaling, there's literally so many angles under horizontal scaling, but horizontal scaling now is about going wider, right? If you have something that works small scale, then in theory, if we were to go wider, the question is, how do we go wider while still maintaining the return on ad spend, right? ROAS. If you want to tap that ROAS, then you gotta understand this crucial method here when it comes to horizontal scaling, right? So how do you go wider horizontally? Right, horizontally when it comes to horizontal scaling, the first one is to duplicate your ad sets with sales. Okay, now what does this mean? It means that when you go to your Facebook ad account, if you were to go to your ad sets, okay, now your different ad sets, what you want to be doing is you want to take a look at the ones. I'm showing you actual numbers over here, and I want to be able to take a look at the different ad sets and see which one has sales. Okay, so for example, you can see that some of these ad sets, they've got 8 sales, 10 sales, with a different cost per result, right? So this has got like 6 sales, 12 sales, 13 sales, for different ad sets. So when I am looking at this, or when my team is looking at this, you can see that I have like 2,700 different ad sets in here. But what I'm thinking and what we'll be looking at is how can I duplicate the different ad sets with sales. So let's say I am looking at this campaign here that targets people who are into motivational speaking. This ad set here has got 42 sales with like $15 cost per purchase. And I know that for this funnel here, my average cart value, that means every time somebody goes through this funnel, is about which one is this for? So this is for, it's about, yeah, this one's about $220. So this is like really good. Okay, so if I wanted to duplicate this horizontally, in fact, the first thing that I can do is to duplicate this ad set and just create like 5 or 10 different copies or variations of this current ad set. And how it works is that Facebook will work their magic and they will be able to find better segments within your parameters in order to scale. Okay, so this first method, which is just going broader, it is really about to take a look at your ad sets that has sales and duplicate these ad sets, right? Super basic, but you're doing that by allowing Facebook to do the work for you, okay? To look for more sales, more conversions. Now, number 2, another way would be to look for a new interest by utilizing their suggestion. Okay, so for example, let's say this ad set, let's say I am targeting people who are into a certain, for example, let's say e-commerce or Gary V or influencers. Okay, so what I can do is let's take a look at some with some actual numbers. Okay, so let's say this one that targets Tim Ferriss, which for this one wasn't that profitable, so it's switched off. Let's see, digital marketing, social media. I want to take a look at an actual one which I like. So okay, Napoleon Hill's not bad. Okay, so let's say I duplicate this. Spend about $4,000 on that thing. Okay, so if I were to duplicate this, another thing that I can do is I can duplicate this, but this time what I'm going to change is I am going to change the audience, which is over here. Okay, and you see that right now this is targeting people who are interested in Napoleon Hill, right? So all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to click on suggestions, and since this current interest was profitable, all I'm going to do is it was initially Napoleon Hill, right? So I'm going to take a look at what other interest that they suggested. So over here, you can see that there's Zig Ziglar, John Maxwell. I'm just gonna take one. Okay, so John Maxwell. So since Napoleon Hill was profitable for me, then my next method of scaling is just by utilizing Facebook Suggest for another audience, which is this new interest targeting. Okay, so that now I can start scaling and going broader again. See what I'm doing here? I'm taking something that's already working and I'm allowing Facebook to do the work for me based on the data that they have. Okay, so so that being said, that's the second method. Okay, in order to go broader, next one is to look at and scale utilizing demographics. Now demographics has got like age, gender, what platform they are on, was it Facebook, was it Instagram, and duplicating it again, but just changing that one thing. So maybe you duplicate the ad set, but this time you only target female, right? If that makes sense. This time you duplicate the ad set, but perhaps you only utilize Instagram and Instagram ads. Maybe it's just Insta stories. Okay, and the way you do that is, again, if you have something that is profitable. So let's say I have this campaign here that is pretty good, $10 cost per purchase for a average cart value that's over $100. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this, and once I click on duplicate, another thing that I could do now is I could change the placement. You see this? So right now this placement is on Facebook and Instagram, right? So perhaps I could make it now audience network, unless you have like a super business to consumer product that is for like the masses. Maybe it's like weight loss or some sort of lifestyle thing that is for the millions. Usually audience network will not work. It's very hard to scale using audience network unless it's for the masses. But one method would be maybe just duplicating it, but this time creating something for just Instagram, right? Or perhaps it could be just Instagram stories. And now this is like a 15-second video that is formatted for Instagram stories, right? Where it's perhaps a video that is taken selfie mode for the context of Instagram stories. So another method to scale is literally just by either changing the demographics, right? How old they are, the gender, or targeting the placement where they are currently finding your ads. Okay, now this is literally how you can just keep going broader and broader, and then there's like lookalike audiences, and then there's the scaling more and retargeting. But ultimately that is how you scale horizontally. Okay, so the first method of scaling is scaling creatively, having more ads, different angles, different hooks, different images. Second method is just by going broader and broader. Sometimes it's just taking the ones that's profitable, duplicating the ad sets over and over again, making sure that you only change one thing, which is the demographics, changing the placement, and then after that, only when you are able to scale horizontally do you then look at vertical scaling. Okay, so I'm going to talk about vertical scaling, and then I'm going to talk about like how often should you look at these numbers and how often should you scale. Should you do every day, every week? So vertical scaling is now going deeper. It's about spending more money. Okay, so how do you actually start spending more money? The way you do that is by increasing your budget. So what is the process, and how do you actually constantly increase the budget without messing up the algorithm, without Facebook, going nuts? The way you do that, and the way we do that is first by looking at the ad sets that is profitable, that has got at least 2 times return on ad spend, ROAS, right? If something is giving you 2x return on ad spend, what you want to do is you don't want to mess up the current ad sets that's already working. Okay, so don't touch the original one, just duplicate it and increase the budget. Okay, so you duplicate, increase the budget. So perhaps from if you're getting double your ad spend from $20, $50, $100, could put it to 200. If you're getting 5x, okay, or rather 4x return on ad spend. Okay, so for example, if you're putting in a certain ad set, it's usually a retargeting campaign. Okay, if you don't know what retargeting is, watch my other video. I've got a video that is like an hour long, literally, on how do you go from beginner to expert. I'll put that somewhere either in the description or on this video. Go watch that video that talks about retargeting, but usually retargeting is where the money is, not targeting. And if you have an campaign or an ad set that is giving you 4x, so usually on a retargeting campaign, that is when you can increase your budget 5 times, 7 times, 10 times. Okay, and the way you kill ad sets that is not converting, if you're selling something low ticket, if it's like e-commerce type of deal, after you spend $10, $20, you can go ahead and kill that. Or if you're selling something that's high ticket, what if you're selling a coaching program that is $1,000? What if you're selling a mastermind that's 10 grand? What if you are selling a service at 5? So whatever it is that you could be selling, the way we kill ad sets is if there's 0 sales on the funnel that is half of the average cart value. So for example, if typically a person on a certain funnel, if the average cart value is say $300, it means that at $150, if there's still no sales yet, we will kill it. Okay, so that's how you kind of think about things. If it's low ticket in nature, if you're selling some sort of widget, e-com thing, it could be $10. And then if there's still no sales yet, go ahead and kill it. Okay, so how often should you scale? Okay, so these are just the different methods of scaling. Should you do it every day, every other day, every week, every 3 hours? How often should you scale? Okay, now creative scaling over here, I wrote all the time. Now what does that mean? No, it doesn't mean looking at your ad account every single day, but rather creative scaling just means to be a true marketer, you should be living and breathing ads. That means everywhere you go, you should be literally thinking about angles and hooks. And I can tell you that I'm currently here in Sheraton in Vietnam. I just did an event yesterday here. And when I was on the stage, I did an ad before I went on stage. And 3 weeks ago, I was in Disney World. No, that was 2 months ago. I was in Disney World. And when I was in Disney World, there were 3 different things that I knew I could take a picture that could be turned into an ad. Like I literally went in front of, there was a mirror on the wall. So I literally stood in front of a mirror. I knew that could be an ad. It could be me sitting or standing in front of a mirror saying, "Mirror, mirror in the wall, which is the best closing book of them all?" That's the hook, right? So scaling creativity through ads is about being a practitioner, living and breathing messaging hooks wherever you go. Okay, so every single time you are just using inspiration from your environment, from wherever you are, asking yourself, if you see something that gives you inspiration, like, can this be taken into an image? Can I do a Facebook Live right now? Can I take a 3-minute video? Can I take a 15-second swipe up Instagram story ad so that I can constantly create more ads, more angles, different messaging, different hooks, because different people will resonate with different messaging. Okay, so if you understand this, then you'll realize that in order to avoid this ad fatigue, it's just constantly about creating like a crap load of creatives without it being crap. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one is how do you scale horizontally? Horizontally is literally like every 2 days. If you or your ads person or your marketing person, or if you outsource this, whatever it is that you might be doing right now, make sure that you or your ad person, your traffic person, is scaling horizontally every 2 days. Okay, so every 2 days they're thinking about how can they take the profitable ones and go wider and wider, serving a broader audience. Okay, and over this one would be vertically would be at least, you know, once a week. Maybe you take a look at it on Mondays, on weekends, and increase your budget for the ones that has at least 2x return on ad spend, based on what we talked about earlier. And that's pretty much it, which, by the way, if you like videos like these, let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is from this video. Literally, this video was created because of a few comments of people asking me how to scale. Let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is, what type of future videos that you'd like to see from me. And as always, hit the subscribe button if you found that you got value from this video, and I will see you in future videos.